everyone. How are you? Gonzalo Higuain retired from international play today, and it seems like it's a very difficult topic to really entail as far as what his legacy is going to be with the Argentine national team. It's going to be a difficult one because he was part of a very successful generation. He was part of a group of players that was amongst one that went to 3 finals, a group of generation that had been able to win successfully in a World Cup or multiple World Cup cycles, got to finals, as I mentioned before, got to quarterfinals on successive World Cups. But it's going to be the misses instead of the 31 goals he actually scored that will actually be the one, or the one aspect of his career that people will remember the most. And it's that constant battle that he had with the Argentine press and with Argentine fans, that so much so when he retired, he always went out with a little bit of a dagger and said, oh, I know that some people will be happy that I'm not coming back to the national team. It's kind of sad, but mind you, I was one of them that criticized him in big games. He was a player that did not show up in big games. Not just big games, the biggest games of his career. You would go back and you see that he did not show up. And it's very difficult to really go after him because the numbers that he's been able to create, that he's been able to generate throughout his career, have really been amongst the most productive over the past decade or so. That's just plain. I mean, just numbers alone give him all the support of being one of amongst the elite. But as I said before, those big games are the ones where you're measured. And in big games, Gonzalo Higuain was really never a factor, or barely ever a factor. And that's where you really find the conundrum as far as finding where he's going to stand in terms of Argentine national team lore, in terms of world football lore, in terms of a decade. Maybe you'll look at him as a top 5, top 10 goal scorer within this generation. But he will not be able to surpass some of the big names, the Batistutas of Argentine football. Those big goal scorers that they've had in the past. Yeah, you would probably name him, but he wouldn't be the first, second, maybe even third or fourth name that would be coming out of your mouth when it comes to that. Is it sad? Yes, it is a bit sad, because seeing him play and the talent that he had and the penchant for the area that he had was great. But there was a great topic that was said, or a great quote that was said before. When he played for Juventus or Napoli, he was looking to score goals. When he played for Argentina, he was just trying not to be a meme. And if there is a very unforgiving crowd, if there's a very unforgiving fan base, it's definitely those in the south of the universe, south of the world, if you want to call them, the country that's furthest south, closest to the South Pole as possible. Argentina is very unforgiving to those that aren't able to win. And in Gonzalo Higuain's case, in Messi's case, in Kun Agüero's case, it is going to be that legacy that they're going to be affected by. And unfortunately, that is how they're going to be looked at. Now seeing Gonzalo Higuain at 31, I don't know if the downside of his career, but definitely not at the apex anymore. It's sad to see, but again, you see what time and confidence and going in those scoring droughts really affects him. He seemed to have found a home at Napoli, but decided to go to Juve. Seemed to have found a home in Juve, and then Cristiano Ronaldo comes. So it's going to be one of those careers that will have a lot of question marks, one that shouldn't have question marks, because production-wise, again, he was one of the best. He still is one of the best. But it's just those big moments, those misses, those what if. What if Higuain was able to score in the World Cup final instead of steering that ball wide? What if he was able to score in the Copa America? What if? And of course, everybody's going to look at, oh, well, Messi would be the best player of all time. Messi would be the best player of all time. At least in their eyes. Or at least make it more official. It wouldn't be left to so much speculation and circumstance. I guess that's where it ends up being. Unfortunately, a bit of a domino effect when it comes to those misses as far as legacies are concerned. But That's just the way football is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you miss them, sometimes you make them. Unfortunately for him, he made them in opportune moments, but in the big key moments, in those moments that could have defined him, that's where he left us wanting for more.